Good evening, everybody. And a very welcome to Paddy and Pals.
You thought I was going to speak, didn't you?
Honestly, normally you do. I'm in charge shutting you up. Folks, very welcome to Paddy and Pals. As you can see from everybody else, we've got some extras in the house today. And honestly, I don't know what we were thinking inviting this show because it's going to be really, really difficult. As I was just saying to Stephen, it's going to be like wrangling chickens or something like that, keeping this lot under manners. It's going to be very, very difficult.
Look, just do me a favor. Put your children to bed. Keep your wife in a dark room. Just put them away.
Wife, partner, or significant other, I think we have to say these days. But there you go. And we've already got a good crowd in. So obviously the promise of what we're talking about today has drawn some interest. So we have promised a conversation, just sharing some recollections, reflections, and ruminations on Sharp Show from last week. Paddy hasn't slept. He is so excited. I mean, apart from anything else, it was the first time that Sally's let him out in 6 years. And honestly, I'm not sure the public will quite recover from that experience. Apart from anything else, one of my abiding memories of Saturday is there was a queue about a mile long. Now, you have to remember that there were about 800 people queuing up to get into this show on Saturday. And all of us, the guys in this particular show tonight, and a couple of others, Tamas, who couldn't join us tonight.
Well,
who Stephen is taking to calling Will from Germany as opposed to Tamas from Transylvania. I mean, it's not that hard. We were all sat round the same table outside the coffee the coffee shack, hot dog stand, just watching the queue go past us. And the thing that amazes me is that Tiff the organizer of it did some videos of the show opening. And I fast forwarded, and you can just see us sitting around that table behind all of these.
I saw that.
Rubs.
I saw that.
It was very, very funny. I think it was hilarious the way that happened. I
have to say that sort of set the stage for the whole show, because we never stopped talking for the next 8 hours. It was just different people just talking. It was fantastic.
But shall I tell you the real motivation for us just sitting there and waiting for it to do? I'll tell you what it was. Because apparently, Slippy don't queue.
I don't queue.
Yeah, that's
Slippy
it.
Don't queue.
That was good enough for us.
Yeah, and that's how it all worked out. So anyway, without further ado, what we're going to do is we're going to.
So it's kind of like the Royal Marines, never leave a man behind.
Yeah, something like that.
I wouldn't say maybe the complete opposite.
I think there are certain overlaps. Yeah, in the Venn diagram of us and the Royal Marines, there is a very small.
In the fact that they were also humans and we're humans, that's probably the only overlap.
There you go. But for tonight, fellas, allow me to introduce our guests this evening. We have Slipjoint Sawyer, who is known to one and all and sundry. We have Daniel the Blade Bridge, who is known to anybody who collects sacks and who has ever ogled or lusted after a custom sack of the finest quality.
Yeah, I have to say, he's one of the finest. And the other thing I'm going to say, stay to the end. Do not leave, because Dan is putting up a giveaway tonight, and you don't want to miss it. If you like your sacks, do not leave.
Hang on a second.
If you like your what?
I love my sack.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's down. It's down. It's a pal.
So stay to the end. Do not miss it. He's given away an absolutely beautiful knife, a custom knife.
And finally, and for introductions, we have a virgin to the podcasting arena. We have Mikey Newman, who, apart from anything else, has got to be the most solid guy. I won't hear any contradictions. The most solid guy in the entire knife community, because
I'm not a solid guy. I'm an ass.
Yeah, I mean, Slippy doesn't even come into the equation, for crying out loud. But Mikey treated us like absolute kings, made us feel very welcome, drove us to and from the airport.
Yeah, it really made the day go so much smoother. It was lovely.
And apart from anything else, the degree of tolerance that he displayed for our behavior on the day was nothing ordinary. Nothing ordinary.
It was lovely to meet strangers, and yet within about an hour, it was as if we were on a schoolboy's holiday. The language got really bad. The jokes got really bad. The Mickey taking got really bad. and we'd only just met that morning. It was fantastic.
We were going home at the airport, and Stephen turns to me and said, "Oh, just my language has really been slipping today." And I said, "What are you effing talking about, Stephen?" And he was, "What?" Oh, yeah, of course it
was like a schoolboy's day out. It was fantastic.
Honestly, I think it took about 20 years off us.
Definitely.
If not 40. But anyway, Mikey, you're very, very welcome. Slippy, as
Thank
always,
you.
you're very welcome, but you'll be going early because we can't stand your relay. And Daniel,
There's nothing new there.
as always, it is good to see you, but more to the point, good to see you back. Good to see you back.
Nice.
So, okay.
I think we'll just hand it over to Slippy. Let him start. We'll leave you to the end, Mike, so that you'll know the sort of format. Slippy will do it right. Dan will do it wrong, and you get somewhere in the middle. You're absolutely perfect.
50-50.
Assuming that Dan ever stops talking, because you know what he's like when he gets started.
Where's that button again?
No. There isn't. We got rid of the get rid of Dan button. That's not working anymore.
Okay, hit it away, Slippy. Tell us what you thought of the show. And
well, first and foremost, it was fantastic, wasn't it? Really, it was a really sort of weird and surreal experience to meet everyone in person. Used to sort of speaking to people through the camera, and then obviously I joined the queue by the cafe bit, and then I saw Paddy and this very small child sat next to him, and then it turned out to be Judd.
And thus it begins.
Yeah, and then I saw Mikey, who was hiding behind his cat, who later on the show I did hand him a comb. And he'll show you why that's funny later on. All in all, it was a really fantastic day. It was nice to meet everyone. It was a lot bigger than I expected. There was about 60 tables, I think there was in there in total. Met a couple of great people in there. Sean, Will, subscribers came over and said hello. I know Paddy met a load of people in there as well. But I think the best thing about the show really was that table we spent 99% of our time at, Judd, when you think, where we just absolutely rinsed the table for everything he had.
Yeah.
I only picked up 4 knives, but I think I did pretty well. So I'll just give you a quick look at what I picked up. So the first one was this buck lancer. This is from 1987. It's a little 2-bladed buck. You see the it's not going to focus very well. Tang stamp there, and it has a little coping blade on it as well. And I was just amazed the snap this thing still has, being from the 80s. Just a ridiculous amount of snap for that little knife, even on the open as well. Just a ridiculous amount. Really great little knife. The quality on these knives obviously were amazing when they were made back then.
Yeah.
There's no gaps or anything at all. That was an absolute bargain.
Was that one in one of the loose sort of baskets you had on a table?
Yeah, so
I was
3 of my 4
sorry.
knives was sort of part of the loose sort of basket at the start. I sort of was rummaging through, and I just picked up a handful and was like, right, well, I'm going to carry these in case I find anything better. And I just sort of went for it with those. I also found this really great condition USA made 34 OT. You see the fit and finish on those springs. Look how tight that is. There isn't a single gap on there at all. All the blades are in great condition. Snap maybe not the best. There's a little bit of patina on the blades, but it is carbon steel.
Oh, very nice.
But it's as close to new old stock as I think I'm going to find for a 34 OT. Even the spade blade looks all right on it, I guess.
Oh, heard it here first, folks.
Spade blade.
I might find it down into a 10.
The old timers.
Yeah. And
then even the clip's got a lot of blade left on it. You can see it's been sharpened a bit.
Yeah.
But there's still a decent edge on there.
But it's definitely been pre-loved as opposed to abused.
Yeah.
So
This one has definitely been pre-loved. It's not been abused at all. It's been looked after. Someone's obviously cleaned it when they've been using it, but there was no real rust on the inside. It's pretty good. I haven't really cleaned it much. You can see very well, but it's pretty clean on the inside there as well.
So are we supposed to clean the inside of knives?
I don't know about but it mightn't be a bad idea.
But I mean, if it's full of junk, you want to clean it, don't you?
Nah, not really.
Well, that's just you then, isn't it? I did pick up this old case knife as well. An offensive spade blade on the 30 Edron's. Not a fan.
Yeah, no, but he's saying that's the nicest thing that TK's ever said about a spade. It's an unoffensive spade blade on the 340. I think it's more to do with the knife itself than it is to do with the blade.
Yeah, I think it definitely is. But this is an old sort of case. I think I dated this to 1979, I believe.
Oh, very nice.
This one has been loved and used a lot. A load of patina on that blade.
There's still plenty of blade left there.
Yeah, it's not getting cleaned off any more than that. I've sort of oiled it. I've given it a
No,
little bit of an edge, nothing major. But there's still plenty of life left on it. Loads of snap again still, especially on the open. Even the little sheep's foot blades are not worn down that much.
Very nice.
And the best thing about this one is there's no spade blade on it. It's a pen.
that's lovely. Yeah.
It couldn't have worked out any better for you.
No, it was perfect. I had to have it straight away as soon as I picked it up.
Oh, sorry,
I do
your
think
fan club's in. Your fan club's in.
Thank you, John. Love you too. I think the best thing I picked up at the show was, without a doubt, the Tony Bowes sow belly. This is in the ebony wood with the propeller shield. See the wood grain on the back a bit better there.
Do you remember when we found that one?
I've never been so excited in my life.
Now, to be honest, Matt, I didn't notice that much difference, if I'm honest. But in terms of excitement from your normal kind of thing, Slippy excited. I mean, let's put it this way: the Earth doesn't move, really, you know.
Yeah.
But it was a fantastic moment actually when it came out of the box. We'd gone through so many boxes.
Oh, we were going. We must have spent over an hour going through those boxes.
How many times did we go back?
And
3 times.
Let me just add, the man got so fed up, I think, of us asking for cases. He said, right, that's it, come round the back and go into my stock. Because he had rolls and boxes at the back. And we were all just piling around. And he was lovely, he just let us get through everything.
Yeah.
It even got to the point we were around there so much, people were asking us how much stuff was.
I know. You know, it was hilarious. It really was. And what was his name? Slippy, was Robert Cutting, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was indeed, yeah.
If ever there was a name a man who was more aptly named, I don't know who it could be.
And he was the coolest man in the whole room.
He really was.
He had the whole day. His table was 3 deep nearly. Yeah, and he was cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it was funny. MBEDC's there. Mark, I think it was, isn't it? And Gus was there as well. But everybody who came a little bit later, we kept on going. If you haven't started, you just go over there.
Go over there. Yeah.
And then it was almost like an excuse for us to go back to the table and show them where the best were.
Oh, I better show you where the good ones are. Let's have another look.
Yeah. Oh, it was fun. But that Tony Bowes ebony is just amazing. And one of my solo returns, I actually found another one of them. And I really wish actually
you'd have gone
that
for
I'd got it.
See, I've got the single blade one. They're like hen's teeth.
I know, and you won't get them. Yeah,
they really are. Like, I was really lucky to get that. It was just a sub that actually sold it to me. So, right. Well, Slippy, you enjoyed the whole experience then?
I mean, the only annoying thing for me was the 3-hour drive, but I'll happily do that again to go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think next time I'll do what Mikey did and stay overnight the day before, because that made sense. Getting up at 6 a.m. to drive for 3 hours wasn't the most fun.
Well, think yourself lucky you're not living in Northern Ireland. We had to get up at 4:30.
But that's your fault for living there, isn't it?
I don't think it's necessary to assign blame. I mean, come on.
Blame.
I mean, you live in Wales, if we really want to get into it.
Yeah, let's not go
let's not go into that. Let's move on.
Okay, thanks very much. Dan, give us your shot in the arm of what you thought of the shot show. No, not the sharp show. Yeah, sharp show. That's the one.
Well, first of all, I will start where Matt started, but I'll go back. So I will start with the queue. Most of us thought it was a few hundred meters, but when you're this big, it must look light years long. Justin, it must look really long. So yeah, that must have been a shock for you, Justin. It must have been looking like you must have felt like God looking down upon all the creation when you saw the queue of a few hundred.
You see, the whole day was this. This was the whole day. It was literally like being back.
The whole day.
Yeah. I felt like I had to give the community what they wanted and just, bully you for your height all day.
Poor Justin couldn't go for a pee because he was frightened of his head getting put down the toilet.
I'm getting flashbacks now, or should I say flashbacks?
I had
to
cuddle him all the way home on the plane.
Yeah, that wasn't pleasant either. I was praying for a crash by the end of it. Anyway, Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, but I want to say hello to Thrifty as well, my friend from the USA. It's nice to see him on here. But yeah, going back to the shop. So yeah, obviously we get big queues. It's lovely to see that so many people turn up. That was just a buzz to think that there was like whatever there was 1,000 people to go there, and more stalls than what I thought. I was a little worried there might only be sort of 40 odd stalls, but when we got there, that was sort of loads of stalls, and not only loads of choice, lots of different items. I was a bit worried that was just going to be sort of. Oh, I didn't really know what to expect because I hadn't been before, but it was when I got inside, it was sort of a feeling of that sort of. You know, that wow, like when you're a kid and you let into the sweet shop and you're just like, it was awesome. I mean, it was a bit embarrassing. We had to get like the yellow pages for Justin to stand on to see the stalls, but you know, that's such is life. But no, and it was great to walk around and see, we had like fixed blade, makers for like hunting knives. There was the kitchen knives there. Do you know what? I'm terrible with names. They were beautiful. There was some Damascus, there was the handles, there was lots of different woods, there was like good use of Kieranite, like micarta, all the stuff that you kind of you see on occasionally pop up on social media or something. It was all there live to touch. It was just nice to actually pick some stuff up, and because a lot of the time you see a knife or you see whether that's an axe or kitchen knife or whatever, and you think, oh, that looks all right. When you get to see it up in person, it's completely different, because obviously I really only do legal carry, so on sub 3-inch blades. That's really all I know, and a few traditionals. I like traditional stuff, but to go up and see like all of the chef's knives, the hunting knives, the fixed blades, for me that was wicked. Just to go up there and sort of touch them, and the antler handles. There was horn, there was like jigged bone, and it was just like. Wow, I just loved every single minute of there. From the second I lit up there, I was just like, yeah, see you later, guys. I've got to go around and just touch everything, But
we didn't sort of disperse when we went in. There was no sort of staying together. It was like we got in and just disappeared.
Yeah.
Every man for himself.
Absolutely, because if there had been a fire, I'd have been like, see you later, losers. And I'd have just with a handful of knives, But no, it was.
Yeah. The lovely thing was, as you split up and walked around, you met somebody else, walked a couple of tables around, then you would one get stuck behind and the other's away. And it was lovely. There was nothing, you didn't feel you had to stay with somebody the whole afternoon. It was lovely.
Well, but that's it exactly. And I mean, the funny thing was that, it wasn't an enormous hall. It was big, but it wasn't an enormous hall. But what happened was that you did keep on bumping into each other.
Yeah.
Usually around the cutting table for one.
Around the case table, yeah.
Or sometimes you got to the hiney table, you got to the twisted assisted table or whatever, but you bump into each other, and then it sort of, after you'd been going around for an hour, it was just sort of, okay, time for a cup of tea. For a cup of tea, and everybody just went for a cup. It was just great.
It was lovely to see James Richards from Twisted Assist. That was a lovely store. It was nice to set up, and you had the products there, and all the different Junzi, or not Junzi, so the tulip, and what was the other one with the curve?
The Baha'i,
and the fixed blade, and all the different stuff, and all the. I see. Anyone knows me knows I love my colours, and I love all the stuff you can change. If you can change them, I'm up to that. And to see that was wicked, like all the different stuff. But then to move on to the other stalls, like I didn't go to Heine because I didn't. Yeah, no, it's just, to me, that's just, I'm not with their products, nothing wrong with them. I just wanted to move along. I know what they sell, but I wanted to see, I went there for the art, for the talent, for the drama. I went there to see what people are doing with their lives and like the products they're producing. Who Knives was there, big shout out. He's a guy who messaged me this morning to say hello as well. So that was nice if you're listening. So yeah, nice to catch up. And see who there, James was there, which is nice. Just local maker. Well, I say local, you know what I mean. It's only small, isn't it, in the UK? Unfortunately, they let Justin and Paddy in. Obviously, passport had failed. I don't know, immigration must have been off that day, letting him scum into the Green Land.
Bloody body.
No, kids come free, Dan. Kids come free. Kids come free.
Excuse me. I'm going to refer you to my learned colleague, if I can find it. What's that? First of all, TK, I don't appreciate this kind of comment. If you don't mind,
I thought you didn't see it. I was enjoying the fact you hadn't noticed.
No.
While Judd's looking for this, I must say, you see the kitchen knives. I had a new appreciation of how beautiful they are.
Yeah.
I've seen
They were
pictures of
fantastic.
them.
Yeah,
But
they were
when
awesome.
You pick them up in that center bit of the blade, and there's no weight. The movement you have, the freedom in your hand with that kitchen knife was just. I'm going back next year solely to buy a kitchen knife because I just found them beautiful.
They were
a game changer, wasn't it? Some of them were just like, and some of the skill that had gone into there from the different ages of people, from the different areas. It was just wicked to go around and see what people are doing. And then there was Cutty's stall, which was just like, wow, it was just knife feel. There was something for everyone. He had some sacks,
Everyone, that was a
boulders,
nice thing.
we had some big stuff, and it was just an amazing experience. And the burger van was nice outside, a cup of tea, good company. And there was like, who else? When you go around, there was some. It was nice to see. Like there was the guy selling like the Markata and the Kieranite and
5 different woods.
The woods were beautiful. It was just nice. And then people selling like Tormex and sharpening gear and some knife making machinery. I just thought it was such a good mix.
There was a point though, Dan, later on in the show where I was feeling quite. I think Slippy passed comment on it at the time as well. Or it might have been Mike, but that where everybody was still gravitating towards the knife stalls, and the materials and knife making stalls had kind of been deserted. So you kind of felt sorry for them a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
I think that's
people had been to them early in the morning and sort of exhausted.
I think they'd probably made their money from that, because people will go specifically just to buy the wood.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a knife maker, they'll just go buy it. But every single one of the stalls met you with a smile.
Yeah.
They chatted with you. They answered any of the stupid questions I asked.
all.
And like Who Knives was there. It was lovely to meet Who Knives, and as you say, Twisted Assisted, people that we'd spoke to before but never actually face to face, which was nice.
Can I just interrupt for a quick definitive statement from obviously the most intelligent man in the chat box?
Thank you.
Okay, it's official. Enough off, all of it. Otherwise, I'm going to bring in the Hobbit police, and we're going to have an equality sort of session here. It's just not fair. Hang on a second.
We'll strap you back into your high chair.
My chair's falling down again. Let me crank it up a wee bit here, actually. So there you go. Now, what's the resemblance? Thank you very much, MBUDC. It's always good to know I've got some support in it and out there in the cheats. I suppose we should take an opportunity to say hello to everybody.
Yes, you go ahead and say hello there.
So we've got an absolute star-studded crowd out there. We've got Tony's Ponies, Mike Curtis. We've got Thrifty, of course, has been in from the very beginning. Sucker for punishment as he is. We've got Sean. We've got Sean. I think Sean was there as well.
Sean was there, yeah.
Actually,
we did.
I don't know about you. I've had people message me and come on the channel as well and say they're sorry they missed me. They didn't get to see
chance.
how you could have missed a crowd of people.
Why they would be sorry to have missed you is beyond me. There's Spiros. There's Roy Erickson, and we've got Special Ed. We've also got Cheeto Bandito. Some guy called Slip Joint Sawyers and Stuart McCree. EDC, glad you like the knives, EDC. I hope you're enjoying them. We've got Randy, of course. Randy, good to see you, and mate. We've got Gizmo.
First 3 big hitters in a row.
Right in there. And I think I could have sworn
there. Shambi.
What was that? Cheeto Bandito.
Cheeto
Bandito. I think I saw Congi in here as well.
Will Wilson.
And we've got Stan's Collectors Universe. Live long and prosper, Stan. Absolutely. Peace and long life is the reply.
But what did you buy, Dan, while we're just catching up? What did you buy yourself? Did you buy much?
So I thought I bought a couple of things, but I'm a bit guilty. That wasn't from there, so I'll have to scrap that. I bought this beautiful Remington. So it comes with it comes with the pamphlet box in really good nick. And it is I don't know the model number because I haven't looked, but it's like a shotgun adjuster. So just a shotgun, and then it's got a lovely Texas or California.
Yeah,
Texas,
California.
is it not? Californian, whatever clip.
Yeah.
Clip on it. Then it's
I've never seen one of them in the real. I mean, it was just what a buy that was.
Yeah, and then it's got a sheep's foot on it. Razor sharp, factory edges, never been used. Factory oil, sort of like sawn Delrin. Beautiful. Nice, lovely snap on it. Whatever that tool actually does.
And was it a sort of green down? I can't make it out because of the light, but it was a sort of green.
Yeah, it's just a standard Remington green. If you've ever seen a Remington knife, you know they don't make much. They did the Delrin yellow, didn't they? And they do. Was it saw? What do they call this? Sawbone.
Saw cut.
Saw cut.
Saw cut. There we go. Yeah.
Saw cut in yellow Delrin.
Yeah, nickel silver bolsters.
Such a well-made knife.
Yeah, beautiful brass liner. It's got natural patina on it with the high carbon blades and stuff. So yeah, very nice all over with the box. It's beautiful to see a box and whatever you want to call that, instructions pamphlet. You know, take care.
But it's an indication that I mean, it's what Slippy was saying earlier. It's almost like new old stock kind of thing,
or it is new old stock.
Yeah,
he had actually said that he had found it was an old like what sort of a shop would you call it? It was like an old hardware shop.
Yeah.
And when it closed down, they found all these boxes in the back of it, and he managed to buy them. And they were all old, new stock, and just had been lying there from the 80s. And that's where he got most of his case knives and all from. So it was just, I mean, they'll not be there next year in that quantity, but by gosh, I'm sure if you can get that sort of bargain.
I'm going to see if I can get in touch with him. And see if he'll even sort of, you know, he would do a kind of over, you know, postal sales or anything like that.
Yeah, he might.
It might be a sort of taking a
actually the other strange thing. I don't know if any of you spoke to him, but the pen knives were not his main business. His was hatchets and all that sort of heavy duty tools.
Old tools. So, old vintage tools, yeah.
I think he just got the best year to be there for him to be there. But it'll be interesting if he's there next. I would say he sold a fortune. I would say he probably made as much money as the high-end dealers that day.
Yeah, because the amount of stuff. I mean, there was just not enough time in the day to get through all the stock.
It wasn't even
thousands of knives.
It wasn't just he had no price on him. You just asked him, and he said 20, 15, 60, 70.
Let me tell you the funniest story. I'm almost afraid to give this one away. It was hilarious. It really was hilarious. So what happened was that Thomas was buying, and Dan's friend was buying buying a knife, and he'd been to it, and then he'd gone away to think about it, and then was coming back because the guy had said it was £160 for the knife, and Thomas had really fallen in love with the knife. Lovely locker with a recurved blade. I can't remember the name.
German, wasn't it? With an S, silver tin, blue. Like
it was German, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was German knife.
Yeah, no, he's from Pennsylvania.
No, Transylvania.
But what happened was that Thomas then decided, we managed to talk him into it. We didn't do anything. Slippy just came out with his usual maxim.
Buy it.
So Thomas was easily influenced and just went back to buy it. So Dan was with him this time. And what happened was, I asked him what price it was, and Thomas had told me it was the guy had said 160. But then the guy came over, and Dan asked him how much was it, and the guy said, "Oh well, we were here earlier, and you said how much? Well, the time before you said 150. So Dan knocked £10 off the price.
It's 170. When we went back, he said 170.
Was it 20, Dan?
Yeah. It was one. I think the original price was 160. When we went back, we were like, "Oh, how much is this?" And I said, "How much is it?" He's like, "Oh, 170." And then Thomas gave me a funny look. I said, "Well, last time you said it was 150." And it was 160. So,
and he just went, 150 then, because he was holding all of this stuff in his head. You know what I mean? It was hilarious. It was the best thing that happened. It was one of those classic ones. It really was. Anyway, Dan, thanks very much for that. You've had more than your fair share of airtime. You and as always, you have not disappointed. My man, good to have you back. Now, Mikey, I hope you are ready for this because
I'm ready.
Expecting great things because I mean you have to follow these.
Well, can I just start by saying Mikey is going to start a YouTube channel.
Is he?
Yes, aren't you,
Yeah.
Mikey?
Yeah.
Mikey,
Apparently so. Apparently so. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hear
He's a case collector as well now, so he has to.
start a YouTube
I
channel.
started a case collection. Indeed.
My case collection. Mikey has something like 200 knives at home, and he has to
his
do
wife's
something.
in the house.
She's
I
not
think
working.
I think I had a look, and it's more like 300.
Oh, God.
It always is.
See, the only
Yeah.
justification- the
I've
only
got a bit
justification
confused.
after keeping them, Mike, is to do a channel. I'm sorry, but that's the way it's going to be. So,
Yeah,
Mike, tell
okay.
us, talk to us, tell us about your experience of Sharp Show.
Well, my first ever knife show, and I've just got to say it was one of the best days I've had out in a long, long time. We had not just a laugh from start to finish. 60 stalls there. I think I only went to half of them. There was so much stuff there, and everybody was lovely. Everybody from like start to finish. Everybody that we spoke to, people knew Paddy and Judd straight away, so that was quite good. And I spent
couldn't see me, but that's beside the point.
but I spent way too much money.
Yeah, but that's a good thing.
I think that had something to do with Slippy. Yeah,
Nothing
buy
to do
it.
with me. Buy it.
It had a lot to do with you. A lot to do with you, I think, pal. Easily led.
Show us what you picked up, Mikey. Let's have a look.
Right, I'll start with the last one that I bought, just because Judd likes it so much.
Oh, bring it over. Oh, there you go. Oh,
It is a Bark River PSK, I think it's called.
That's right. Yeah. That's good.
In Elmac steel.
Oh, that's the killer.
It's beautiful.
Hold your index finger up against it. You just show the size of it.
What, size-wise?
Size-wise, it was beautiful.
A perfect EDC fixed blade.
So it was a broadsword for Judd, then, was it?
Yeah, pretty much. It was a two-handed grip for me. It was that. But here's the thing. It was funny because if anybody's watched Gadget Gus's reflections on the show from last week and the case knives that he got, he made a point of I don't know. I hesitate to use the word whinging, but you're going to use it anyway. He didn't really whinge. He was perfectly justified because apparently I played the puppy dog eye on Gus when I was looking at a con.
I was stood next to him. And you worked that off of him really well.
Oh,
you really did work it.
And he felt so sorry for me. Now, the only thing I can put it down to, because Gus would never make a classic error like this, and normally he's been ill recently, and that's the only reason he was in a point of vulnerability, and I exploited that shamelessly. I have to say,
absolutely.
However, just to put it into context, I tried exactly the same technique with this guy about that Bark River knife. He didn't even blink. Obviously, the military training has taught him a thing or.
Oh, that was a really nice knife. I had to buy it. I had to buy that knife.
That was one of the buys for me. I was just glad somebody got it because if I had seen it, I'd have bought it. It was beautiful.
It was stunning. Yeah, it's an absolutely stunning knife.
And a wee bit about your past. You were more into modern knives, but you're starting to be dragged.
Very much so. Very much so.
Sanitarium, I believe.
I first got into knives a long time ago, and my first real knife was a Buck 110. I like all of the modern knives. I've got lots and lots, and that all changed at the weekend. that will change at the weekend, mainly down to you three, I think.
How many cases did you get in the end, Mikey?
3.
Show us them.
3. So the first one that I fell in love with.
Oh, look at that!
And it's a copperhead.
Oh, that's beautiful bone.
So nice.
It's really, really nice.
It was perfect condition, that one, wasn't it?
I think they were all new, old stock. Yeah. It was in the box. The walk and talk, fantastic. Really nice knife. Really nice. That was the first case that I bought.
And then,
And then Judd found this one for me as well.
was that the trapper?
This is the trapper,
really was
yeah.
the pimp of the day.
The pimp and the thief, or shark, as
Spe-
Tony was
He
saying.
spent about 2 hours of the day with his back to us, just in this box lifting case knives.
Have a look at that one. Have a look at that one.
That's again absolutely mint. Perfect. There's no gap in.
It's for
Absolutely
every
lovely
one
knife.
that comes out of that box had no gaps.
Yeah, I didn't see a single gap out of the knives there.
Yeah, but this is the thing. I mean, that's what I was going to say. Is that I mean, we often have discussions about that in terms of the quality control in case.
Yes.
And honest to God, that was 5 drawers full of. There must have been 20, 25 case knives
At least.
in
At
each
least.
drawer. And every single one of them was the quality that case should be turning out as a matter of course. And
Yeah.
I mean, they were perfect.
And do you know the other thing? I think a lot of them were from the 80s, the 70s,
Yeah.
80s, and that was the era when case were really good. Their fit and finish was top of the world. They were really on the. This is before GEC, this before all this everything else. Case were the top production company in the world for selling knives, and it's so sad that they haven't gone completely, because I can still find them. You just have to be more picky when you're buying a case knife, but everybody's case knife that I seen there was just perfect.
I know they were fantastic. They really were. So what was number 3 then, Mikey?
And number 3 was one with no box that I just found loose in a box of other knives. That little case, the Weed Doctor's knife. But again, like the spring and everything, like the workmanship, spot on.
Yeah,
absolutely fantastic. It's a faultless knife.
It is a beautiful wee pocket dropper. That really is.
Is that a single blade?
Just a single blade, yeah.
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 Nice. Yeah. Really.
Yeah,
nice.
some of them have the pharmaceutical spatula one, didn't they?
Yeah.
Knives.
But I mean, that's a lovely fruit knife. Even to cut through an apple, the blade goes right across the apple. It's just a nice knife.
Yeah, I mean,
a nice bacon knife. It's a knife for bacon.
Yeah.
Bacon.
Oh, for bacon, absolutely. Sean, I think, has captured it perfectly, because Sean was there as well. And I mean, I think he speaks for all of us when he says, I wish I'd bought more as well. Just on that. If anything, the one thing I regret is spending too much time on the drawers where the really good stuff was, and not finding, one of the real lovely, those beautiful little bargains that were out loose. I mean, Stephen got the same kind of thing as Mikey got the doctor knife.
This is a wee copper lock, the small copper lock for £25. So, and again, there's a little bit of marking. It's CV as well, a little bit of marking on the blade, but this is going to be a user for me. I could care less. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely in mint condition. And again, for 25 quid, you just couldn't go wrong.
And these were just sitting in a plastic
boxes,
Tupperware box.
Yeah.
And
that's where I picked up all 3 from. These were all from the little box.
Yeah.
All 3 of these ones I picked up were from the boxes.
Yeah.
Well, I've got another wee quick story now. When we went back in at the end, we'd said cheerio to Slippy, and we came back in again, and this Mikey fella, who I'd only met there for the first day, we got to this. He took me into his table.
Enabler.
He says, "Come on to this table. You haven't seen this table." So we went down, and he seen this wee fixed blade and was getting it. I had spent nearly everything. In fact, I had some left in my spending account, and I had a couple of pounds in my pocket. And while we were there, it was just this fella and his son was there, and he was selling his collection or cutting it down anyway. But he had hundreds of knives on the table, all brand new. That what our collection knives are our knives for our own collections. They're never used, or that many you don't get used them. So they're like brand new in box. But when he got his, and the one thing about his knife, which I want to get him to show you, is the little leather case that came with that knife.
Hold it up, Mikey.
Mikey, show that wee case up that the Bark River came in. It is the nicest little sheath. Look at that. Get it over to your left. Oh, hang on. You're frozen.
Oh,
there it is. Yeah, turn it round again. You were frozen there for a minute. Look at that. It is just stunning.
Yeah. It's a cracking
really, really lovely workmanship.
Look at that, Judd.
Anyhow,
Look at
when
that.
I was standing there, the son said, nothing you fancy there? And I was having a wee look about and I said, I think this wee benchmade just sitting. I said, oh, that's not new. That's an older model. What's that? And I went over and lifted it up and you had £70 on it in the box. And it's the Presidio. It was the light. The Presidio light came out about 14,
and that was a good price. That was a good price.
15 years ago. And I'd have happily paid £70. But I checked.
That was a good price.
You know, I'm a bit picky. I said, I've got nearly that. If you can bring your price down a wee bit that suits my bank and my pocket, I'll buy it off you. And he said, okay, a little bit, £10 off it, £60. I said, no, you're not quite there. And I was actually being really honest. I think I had about £60 and I say £65 left in my pocket. And I says, you'll have to come down a wee bit more. And he came down to 50 quid.
50 quid it was. It was a bargain.
In box, brand new, just hadn't been, absolutely perfect. So that was, and in 440C, which is what drew me to it, because I'm one of those that rabbits on about 440C. It's such a good steel.
Yeah.
This is in the same steel.
That is as well.
That's a mini Gripzillion.
Yeah.
You see,
But it's quite an old one.
Yeah, my hands, the mini grip, my little finger just falls off the end. I can't get the Presidio just seems to be that little bit longer where I can get all my hand on it.
That is a much nicer handle than like this one.
Yeah,
much nicer handle. Yeah.
It wasn't the rounded bit. I missed the rounded bit as well. It was always like this. But a lovely knife. The mini grip's a wonderful knife, but this definitely fits the hand better.
So was that all your purchases, Mike?
Oh, no. Now, I got this one from the show, but not from the show. This one came from Slippy.
Right.
Oh, yes.
And it's another first. It's my first GEC.
Oh, yeah. There were some deals being done under the table, like in the car park.
There was a little bit of table dealing, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is like a razor. It's really sharp.
It's a lovely knife.
It's a chunker.
You really have started your slip joint collecting on a high.
I think so. It can only go downhill now, can't it?
I know, but there's an awful lot of good quality down halfway down the hill and at the bottom of the hill. It's all part of the journey, and it's all good fun.
So this was from Mr. Pearson from Who Knives.
Oh yes.
Oh no.
And that's the Who V3 black hat. Yeah. You can't really see it because it's very dark coloured, but yeah.
It really is lovely, I have to say. Just a wee quick shout out to I've forgotten his blooming name now. Carl. I spoke to Carl there, and he has that V3 has just come out. I think he's only got about 30 of them left, but he
15.
has 15 now. He has
15
a special batch coming out with Timasca scales, and they are just gorgeous.
Did he have them at the show?
Yeah, he had. I think he had. Yeah, I think
he had one there. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's only going to be a very limited amount of these, so get over to Who Knives and see that, because he'll have pictures on his site. See them and be quick, because once they go up, they are flipping gorgeous, really well, beautiful. So pop over to Who Knives, and if you don't get one of the new 3 version, get the Timascas.
The twisted assisted.
Yeah,
that's the Baha'i, isn't it? Yeah.
The Baha'i with the copper scales and the stonewash blade.
Now, how many of them do you have now, Mikey?
Only 2.
Only. And how many?
Only 2 of them.
And how many gins?
14. 14. I did have 15, but I sold one.
Oh,
just the one.
James and Twisted Assistant has decided, because the Ginsey's been so popular, he's decided to do a re-release of the Ginsey. We now know who his supplier is.
Yeah, his son's called Mike now. He changed his name and put him down for boarding school.
His son's actually sponsored by Mike. 15 Ginseys. Good grief.
14.
Oh no, then you have to get a new one though, the 14C28N one.
I'll probably have to get 2 or 3 of those. Yeah.
Well, one is none, as we say. One is none.
Do you think there's a chance you would start a channel? No joking, because I think you've got the personality.
Absolutely, I will do. Yeah, definitely.
And we'll help you.
We heard.
God forbid.
Oh God, really?
Oh.
Maybe I won't.
Run away, Mike.
Maybe.
Yeah, you might be better staying on your own and just doing a good channel.
Just bear in mind, there are some good examples to follow and there are some not so good examples to follow. My recommendation would be to follow the example of Slipjoint Sawyer and Thrifty Kniffy. No, don't hurt me, Stephen.
I don't think I would. I don't think I'd follow that one. I think I'll stick with Paddy's way of doing stuff and just get it all wrong. Get it all completely wrong.
It's true. It's a lower bar, definitely.
Yeah,
isn't it?
This is made out of 440 Magna Cut, and yeah.
After a week, you're ahead of me, and it feels so good. Do you want to know something? That is the joy of YouTube and having a YouTube channel. You see, if you don't put anybody a bar to set to, and you do it your own way, you can be as bad as me and get away with it for nearly 7 years.
You can make it a feature.
Yeah,
it's a feature, not a bug, as they say.
You could ask Will from Germany. Hello, Will from Germany. Tamaz.
Oh man, Tamas is probably. I hope he's rolling in the aisles at this point. But there you go.
I do hope so.
Thank you very much for that. It was brilliant. It was a brilliant day, made better by you looking after us so well. So thanks a million for it. Yeah,
that was no problem. No problem at all.
Actually, you restored my faith in the English because Slippy had wrecked it.
Slippy's wrecked a lot of things over the weekend.
Yeah, your bank balance for one.
My bank balance is annihilated.
So has anybody got any other stories they'd like to say about the day or just anything in general?
Well, I haven't shared so many.
Oh, sorry. Bless you. Oh, bless him. He's all upset. Go ahead, show them.
Well, I'm easy upset. What can I tell you? I'm very
Justin, can you stand up, please?
He's standing up.
I'm just going to keep the small screen on because I look bigger in it.
You don't. You don't.
Shut up, man. Shut up. I can always kick you out, you know.
There he is. There he is.
There I am in all my dubious glory. But anyway.
Oh, for God's sake, can I sit up?
Oh, thank God for that. This is actually really nice.
That was one of my favourites. That was one of my favourites.
Honestly, it was hilarious. There wasn't it. Will got that big Joseph Rogers knife that we were looking at the table.
Yeah,
big.
He found this, and it was a pen knife. It was literally a pen blade. But I mean, somebody else can.
It was a show. It's for a shop display or something. Yeah.
But honestly, it was literally
closed. It was this length.
They handed it to me, and I had two hands on all of it.
Yeah.
And
there was a long sword.
Exactly.
Sword and the stone, yeah.
But yeah, Will was another one of the sort of vagrant lost souls wandering about. MBEDC was there as well. Gadget Gus was there. Dean,
Gadget Gus. By the way, everybody say a wee prayer for him. That man has had a really rough couple.
What
of weeks.
A top man!
Yeah,
what a top man he is. Great channel, lovely fella.
Yeah, go on to his channel and go to it's a conversation place on the YouTubes. I've never used it. Don't know what it is. What did he say? Slippy, what is it on YouTube?
The community section.
I've never been in there. I've no idea. I've never been in. I don't hit foreign names.
I know, but just listen to the tone of voice. That's Matt Sawyer's trademarked cynicism. that is just, oh my God, the YouTube community.
How
have you been doing this for 7 years and don't know what it is?
Well, nobody told me. Yeah. The other thing is, like, he'd just come out of hospital that day. He still had his hospital tag on.
Yeah, he did.
He comes straight to the show.
Which he didn't live just 2 miles away. He drove completely out of the way from hospital after being incredibly seriously ill, and came to the show. Yeah. He looked like a ghost, he managed to get into the last couple of hours of the show, and it was so nice to meet him because I didn't realize he was that seriously ill.
Yeah, and I mean, it was again the cutting table sort of revitalized him completely. We showed him to the cutting table, and he just went,
Bananas.
Winning
Well,
bananas.
it wasn't sort of showing him. He's like, "Where shall I start?" And we all pointed the same direction.
We all went, yeah, so over there, go.
I missed so many tables that I wanted to go and see because of that cutting table.
Yeah.
That's why there's next year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yes, next year is definitely going to be.
Oh, I wouldn't miss next year for the world.
No.
I wouldn't. And it'll be nice because next year I'm not going to have to go around all the tables. We can sit down at that wee bottom bed, cups of tea and chats.
Absolutely. Now we know what the form is. It'll be a lot easier, well, a lot more fun. Well, a different kind of fun, I suppose, as much as anything else. But anyway,
it can't be more fun.
Yeah, more. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know.
We had,
I think we had
anyway, such a laugh, didn't we?
Yeah.
We really did. There's now the story behind this one is hilarious. Well, not hilarious. It was just funny, peculiar, because Matt and I were going through the case drawers at the same time, going through Robert Cutting's drawers at the same time. Yeah. That's not an image that you want in your head at all, in any way, shape, or form. But I was looking specifically for a sodbuster because I don't have a sodbuster. Matt was looking for anything case, and then we found that one. But the irony was, I think we found each other's knives.
Yeah, correct.
I kept on saying, "What about that one, Matt? What about?" Every time a sow belly came out, it was, "What about that one?" And he went, "Nah, I don't really like the color of the bone or whatever else." And then the ebony came out, and it was the drool started coming from when he found this one, it was like, Judd, I think this is yours. I'm just telling you. I was that. I mean, ding! It was my precious. Give it to me now.
But what a sodbuster!
It is just a cracker. Look at the bone on that. That's just lovely. And again, there's a wee bit of patina on the blade, a wee bit of spotting, but it's because it's CV. The centering on it is just.
That's immaculate.
It's amazing, and no gaps on the back at all.
No, it's perfect.
I mean, it was just a lovely knife to find.
I do believe we were so lucky this year
Yeah.
to hit it at the right time. You don't often get little chances like this, and if you didn't hit it hard, you will miss out because you'll maybe never see that amount of case knives in perfect condition again. We were really fortunate.
We really were. I mean, and then this is I suppose I should show this one because this is the El trozo de vergüenza, as they say in Spain, which is the piece of shame. This is the item of shame. This is the one that Gus really wanted, but all I'm saying is that I saw it first an hour before, and I came back to look for it, and he found it. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it, and I shamelessly exploited his good nature, and I do apologize for that.
The man was on death's bed. You ripped it out of his cold hand.
Do you honestly think if he'd been at full operating capacity, you would have fallen for my BS? No.
Well, I don't know. When you look at me, I go all melty inside.
In all fairness, guys,
Can we just look at John's comment, please?
Beautiful.
Justin, you would have taken that knife off of his corpse if needed, wouldn't you? If it had laid there,
Sodbuster infant.
Let me just take that knife from you. Thank you very much.
Sorry, Dan, say that again.
I said you would have taken that off of his corpse. If he had and then died,
no, come on, Dan. No, come on. I'm a sensitive.
No need. Let me just take that. Thank you very much.
I would have helped him and removed it at the same time.
I'll just hold this for you.
As we're putting the arms in the cross position.
And in his pocket.
The beauty about this one is that it's a canoe with a canoe decal on it. You know, on an.
So it's canoeception.
Yeah.
Canoe. It's a canoe within a canoe.
I like the reference.
In a canoe. In a canoe.
I'm not explaining Inception to you right now.
No, please don't. We'll be here forever.
Oh, we should let Paddy watch that film. That'd be great.
I think his mind would blow up what's left of it anyway.
Do it.
Yeah, it's about a dream within a dream within a dream within a dream.
It's about an Irishman who tries to come to England without a passport.
Okay.
It's about an Irishman who tries to come to England without a passport. And the final purchase was at the same
I
table.
can't believe how much English buggered up the language we had.
No, it's just our understanding of it, I think, more than anything else. It was the Americans that buggered up the language. That was not right. So, anywho, what we want is, the final one that I got was at the same table that Mikey got his Bark River and Stephen got his Benchmade. I got a Civivi Rustic Gent, which I absolutely love. I mean, it's a contrast to the case. But
when did you get that? I didn't see that.
It was when I was stood next to him saying, buy it, buy it, buy it.
Oh, that makes more sense.
It's like the voice of the devil in your ear.
But
He is indeed. He's a bugger.
Everybody held a knife up to say, do you like that? Yeah, you should get that. That was the first words that came out of everybody's mouth.
Yeah, I know. It was just fantastic. But right, yeah. Randy, I agree.
Yes, Randy. Yeah.
This
is the chaos. He's going to be a huge success.
Oh, he will definitely be a success. He really will. Definitely be a success.
And here's a suggestion from Sean. Honestly, Sean, I think we should, but if in the absence of any further meetups, we definitely should make a date for Sharp Show for next year at the very, very least.
I have no doubts I'll be there next year. If I'll sell the wife. I am going there next year. She's next door. Did I say that loud?
I think you did.
I'm dead.
It was quite loud, yeah.
I'll be taking like Weekend at Bernie's. I'll be taking a dead body, and it'll be his.
Yeah, another film I'm taking.
Yeah.
All the kids.
It's nice to see that.
Them
Mike
shows
Curtis has got the right idea.
too long for me.
Okay, so that was my in terms of reflections on the Sharp Show. I just had a blast. I mean, I've been sort of keeping my expectations down to it's going to be more like a craft fair, a village craft fair. I think I mentioned there's a couple of people beforehand. But I was blown away with it. It was amazing. I know it's still nothing like the big blade shows in the States.
But it is. It's a lot of nice people buying knives.
Yeah, well, but we're talking scale.
Yeah, but that's even better. That big scale, I think, would be too much for me.
Well,
I would,
possible.
And it's just as we're on that subject, can I just say one thing? And this is, I'm not going to go into anything else or any names or anything, but I had the absolute honor of somebody coming up to me during the show and saying, "Hello, you're Paddy, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, mate, I am. What's your name?" And he introduced himself to me. He says, "Look, do you mind if I hang about with you for a while? I'm having a bit of a panic attack, and I know you've suffered from them." That was just amazing that a man could, have the courage to do that.
And he picked you.
I'm on with him, come to the table. We went to the table and we sat round and we had a chat and a cup of tea.
And showed our knives.
Sounds
worse than it is.
And he actually, he went off happy and enjoyed the rest of the show. And I spoke to him a few times. You're wrecking my computer, aren't you?
I don't know what's happening there.
But yeah, that was one of the privileges I had, which was beyond any of the knives. That just gave me such a lovely feeling. So
it was an incredible one, that.
Yeah. So it was a knife. There was every emotion I think I could ever have had happened on that day. And when we left, when Mikey dropped us off at the airport, which I thought was the middle of the country because I had no idea where I was. As well, Justin was there. I'd still be walking about. So we were walking.
I had one of those wee child's leads with them
with a wee alarm.
Yeah.
When I broke off and ran ahead, it brought me back. But yeah, when we were walking down there, the two of us couldn't take a smile off our faces.
No, it was just we were buzzing. We were knackered.
Absolutely exhausted.
Standing all day is hard work at the best times, but it was just so rewarding. It was just so much good crack. I mean, the other thing that we noticed was the next day we could barely speak because we'd been talking so much the entire day.
And I know people say that hard to believe.
Yeah.
Well,
you the same,
yeah, I was the same. I was exhausted as soon as I got home. The day after, I just wanted to sleep. I didn't want to do anything else.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, yeah, I literally couldn't move. My hips and knees had given up. My ankles were cankles. I was just couldn't move. And then Sunday, I was absolutely exhausted. I just slept in the chair Saturday and fell asleep in the chair and stayed there the whole night. But it was the best tiredness I've had in honestly years.
It was a great day out. Fantastic day.
This is a great one. Sean,
nice one, Sean.
When you get the line of the night.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
it,
awesome.
yeah,
Absolutely awesome.
You get 2 votes in the giveaway.
Speaking of which,
Yeah, that's really nice. Dan asked before this, would we mind if we done a giveaway? And obviously, of course, we wouldn't. But what I wanted to say is, just before Dan does his giveaway, we have this knife from
Tamas in Transylvania. From
Transylvania. It's Dan's friend, and they've got in conjunction. And look at this brass-covered sack knife. It is the dragon scale on the back and the 2 dragons. I hope I've got that up the right way on the front with this beautiful sort of Chinese, Japanese influenced circle in the middle.
You never watched Game of Thrones, boys, so I mean,
it's Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, come on.
Yeah, House of the Targaryens. Yeah.
Have you seen the names on that?
Yeah.
I can't even pronounce Paddy well, for God's sake. So this beautiful knife with Dan has done all the mechanics of it. He has changed it, and it's probably taken what, Dan, 2 or 3 knives to make up what goes in here.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, you're Dan. Yeah. It's only 3 letters. It's not even as long as Paddy.
Yeah, sorry. I was daydreaming. Sorry.
Dan used about 2 or 3 knives to make up the patterns that's in here. There's pliers. There's all sorts.
There's a technician screwdriver,
Yeah.
and then we've got the pliers and
Saw.
I think it's the steel, the metal saw.
Metal saw, yes. So, I mean, I'm going to do a review on this on Saturday, just a full review on the channel, if it hasn't already gone. But if you want to buy this, I showed it last night on a video, but this is £225. These are completely solid brass scales, which is just, I'm trying to get the detail up, but I'll do the review on Saturday if it hasn't gone by then. But first in, £225. You've also got this beautiful brass bead with the skulls on it. There's a skull in the center, and all these wee tiny ones are skulls as well on both sides. It is just an absolute dream of a sack.
If you open the main blade, you should have my tang stamp. Oh, my badge on it as well. I think somewhere.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh yes, there it is. Yes. So Dan done there. There's his little blade bridge. Yeah, can you see that there?
Made in China.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
The ultimate insult. That's behind the cathedral at 4.
The secret sign is now 25.
I bet it's pot steel as well.
Oh,
Hot metal.
excuse me. This is no husk knife, Mr. Sawyer. This is a blade bridge. Oh, holy Moses, it's heavy.
It really is. This can actually be a weapon. I mean, it's just a lovely weight to slap somebody with.
Yeah.
Not bad to get slapping people with, you know.
Try it, Paddy. Try it.
So, I mean, I'll do a review on Saturday if it's still here. But if you want it, it's $225 to your door. And I just think it's amazing. And hopefully, if you want any questions on the knife and how it was made, please contact Dan. I'm sure he'll be happy to, wouldn't you, Dan?
Yeah, all the time. It's basically a troubleshooter, but I've taken the lifters off of it, so it's not got a cap lifter. A troubleshooter was one, but like Mobile done, maybe the USA, but instead I've just taken the cap lifter layer off, so it's made up. So it's got main blade, pen blade, then it's got metal file, tweezers, pliers, but it's got no. I don't think no one's got a cap, any bottle opener or cap lifter.
It does. No, it does.
Oh, it does.
And honestly, have your memory going the same way as Stephen's?
yeah.
All right, we Pad. But anyhow, I'll do the review on Saturday and I'll show you it, and I'll leave Dan's info below. Again, Dan is one of the best. Well, he is the best, in my opinion and Judd's opinion, and a lot of others. The best in the UK for doing sack knife modifications. His work is second to none.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely, this brass work.
It's an amazing knife.
I have never seen anything. Even just the simple dragon scales are immaculate. They're amazing. So please, if you want it, just send me a DM. It's not a PM, is it? It's a DM.
Very good.
It's a DM.
It's a DM.
And I'll bring you back or contact you whatever way you want, and we can get it sorted out. So Dan, I'm going to hand over to you. What are you going to give away tonight?
So guys, I've got is a little Spartan. with the desert camo scales on. And it's a very basic model. It's just got corkscrew and all lifters. Really strong spring on that. Tin opener. Then it's got pen blade, and then it's got this main blade on it, which has been engraved with scrolls both sides.
Oh man,
that is just amazing.
So we tested this at the Blade Show, and this come up as a 90 on the push tester. So yeah, it's razor sharp. I'll just drop it up again before I send it out. But yeah, it is incredibly sharp. And then it's got white G10 liners to match the scales.
oh, it's a lovely, lovely piece.
What a lovely piece to give away, Dan. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries. If I've got a little mini screwdriver, I'll just pop one in there as well.
Okay.
But yeah, it's absolutely, mind your fingers when you get it. It is like,
yeah, mind your finger. Pokes it into his finger.
Yeah. What was the guy? When you did the test, you scored a 90 on that one. What was his own knife? What were his own knives cutting at?
170. But please, guys, just remember that I've been professionally sharpening knives for like 10 years, and I could get that better than that. I've got a complete diamond set of stones. I've got everything from traditional stones. I've got a tool mate for big kitchen knives and stuff like that. But I do axes, chainsaws, hedge cutters, shears.
So you're going to say headstones?
Two headstones.
No, hedge cutting blades. So for sharpening for me is like second nature. Like it's just don't think you're going to be able to freehand. I know freehand all my stuff. There's just a lot of people ask me as well, and I'll always help if you need help with it. You know, don't be scared of the bigger grits. Like starting on a 60 or an 80 to just cut stock off. If that's blunt, just cut the stock away. You know, and then you just save your time and then work the grits. But if anyone wants any help with sharpening anything, just ask. It's a pleasure, honestly, and just there's probably nothing I haven't come across before. So
it's good to know, Dan.
We'll do the numbers thing, will we?
Yeah, Slippy, would you do the numbers for us? Because I have no idea how this crap works.
Yeah. So what do you want the range to be? What do you want your range to be?
Just numbers.
How 1 to 100.
Just numbers, excellent.
Just numbers.
Are you doing it? Is it UK? Are you going to post it US?
I don't care, whatever.
Okay.
Are you sure, Dan?
Yeah, it's only like
yeah.
It's not,
we can help sort you out with that. We can help sort you out. There's no problem.
But they're under 100 grams anyway, so they're like especially with the G10, they're like 60 grams. So they send even recorded for like £5 or £6 to America. It's not
okay, man.
Maybe £8. It's not.
That's really nice of you. So this is open to anybody, and I'd like everybody to say a big thank you to Dan once this is all over. That's really, really nice of him.
No need.
Really appreciate it. And so if you put in numbers 1 to 100, and it's the nearest to it, it doesn't have to be below.
No, the nearest without going over, because that's what I put in there now.
All right, that's what we're doing now, because I thought about that and I've changed my mind. We're going to do 1 to 100, and it's you're not allowed to go over it.
Yeah, exactly. Slippy's not in charge.
But if you put 101 down, you wouldn't be in it anyway.
I have to live with this.
It started, by the way.
One number each, by the way, folks. One number each, and we'll do a countdown. 5, 4.
Hold on. Number 2 what?
That was fast.
8.
I don't get it. So
you're not in it, Dan. You're giving it away.
You don't have to understand. I don't understand it either.
But Mikey,
oh dear.
Can go in it. Well, Slippy can't. He's doing the numbers. Mikey, you can go in.
Mikey, pick a number between 1 and 100, but don't tell anyone. Go write it down.
Yeah, you got to. Oh, yes. I know what you're doing. Yeah.
Mikey, write a number down between 1 and 100, but don't show it ever.
We should have prepared him for this.
Oh, well, I don't prepare.
EDC pen on him.
Shocker. EDC fail. EDC fail. Oh, well done. Okay, we are going to stop it Is that long enough, do you think, Matt?
How many?
Give it another couple seconds. Okay, 3, 2, 1. It stopped.
Stop. Okay, so Cheeto Bandito was the last comment at 8:40 p.m. So anything before that, stop. Nicely done, Matt. Okie dokie.
Mikey,
So-
what have you got, sir?
What number have you got there, mate?
53.
We never even asked him if he could write.
53. Okay, so let's have a quick look.
Here's, hold on, we can look here. What are we looking for? 53.
Jeepers, nobody's come. Oh, Crispy Critter's close. 56.
Was closest without going over.
It's got to be under.
Yeah, it's Crispy Critter. Crispy Critter get 56.
That's over.
That's over.
So it was 1 to 50 or 1 to 100?
No, it was number.
It was 1 to 100.
You're worse than me.
Under.
It's you. I get it off.
1 to
Okay, Matt, you
100.
tell us who won.
Closest guess without going over.
Oh, right. Without going over the number. Oh, right. I get
Yeah.
you. Now I understand.
Okay, so
Partners,
Galen has
Workman wise,
33,
just move over.
37, 37, 33.
So we need
So
less
we have a tie by the look of it.
for
Special Ed with 37 and Drew is Deaf 37.
Thrifty Knifty
Oh,
put in 39.
no,
for Gadget
39.
Gus.
That looks like a Gadget Gus for me. It's a Gadget Gus.
It's a Gadget
Gadget
Gus.
Gus. Oh, well done.
Nice one.
Thrifty.
No,
Well done, Thrifty.
Who's won it?
Good on you, mate. That was really nice.
Gadget Gus.
Right.
Gadget Gus won it.
A nicer man.
And it's TK again. How does TK keep on winning these things?
But he's so generous, he just gives most of them away. It's just
I want
fantastic.
to know what his secret is. I mean,
It's
I
just-
don't even understand the bloody thing.
That's why you're getting it wrong. You put 101 down every time.
So Gadget Gus has just won a Downblade Bridge. Is that right?
Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
And Dan, I really genuinely appreciate that. And I know the boys in the channel will love it. Great.
Sorry for lulling you into a false sense of entitlement there, Crispy. I do apologize. Well, I'll try and I'll read the effing manual next time, okay? Before
Oh dear.
Right, guys, this has been absolutely brilliant. I'm going to pass it over to my learned colleague for some final thoughts on our experience from last week, and then we will call it a night. And thank you to one and all for joining us in the chat this evening. It's been great crack.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
hope you've enjoyed it. I know we have. Well, I mean, you'd never know from looking.
When
at
are you
Matt.
going to hand it over to me? Jesus, Lefty's going on and on.
But I mean, look at Matt. I mean, Matt's heart rate hasn't got above 40 for the whole evening. I mean,
My heart rate doesn't go above 40 ever.
Matt hasn't got a heart.
that would explain so much.
He
Matt.
doesn't have a heart.
It's just a stone. It's just a stone.
It's just a knife.
upon which you sharpen your knives. Right, I am now going to pass it over to Stephen, and here we go.
Look, I boys, it's been lovely to see you again. I know it hasn't even been a week, but I have to say I've missed all your companies. I wish we could have it, once a month and just meet up, although that might be a bit testing. But the whole show, everybody at the show, the organizers, I want to thank them so much. It was well run. There was no glitches at all the whole day. Everybody was friendly. Why wouldn't you want to do it next year? But what I would love for next year is those of you out there now who think you would have got there if you'd have tried a bit harder. Next year,
Everybody's got to come. Everybody.
And meet everybody. There's plenty of places where even if we had 20 or 30 people there, there's room to sit around together and have a chat and a bit of crack. There really is. So thank you so much for anybody who was concerned with the show itself. It was a huge success in my eyes. To Justin and to Mikey, to Dan and to Slippy and those other people that we met there, you made one old man and one nearly old man. Short man. Very, very happy. And I can't
Bald man.
Next year. So take care. Mikey, get that channel started.
Folks,
I will do. Thank you.
Take care, folks. Bye-bye now. If you three want
Cheers,
to
guys.
If you wait, we'll talk behind. Take care now, everybody. Bye bye.